the dead is a miracle, doc. They counted me out. Moment of truth, counting it down. Underdog story was down for the count. Back on my feet, back with a mic, back on the beat, back with a family that bang in the streets. The game on lock, I stand with a key. Standing my ground, I am counting them fleet. Standing my ground, I am planting my feet. Taking a stand, embracing my destiny, shaking his hand, flipping the script.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Friday afternoon CrossFit Talk. It is really cool getting to watch a competitive CrossFit event and it being done at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And
you like that?
We can do a wrap-up show at a decent hour.
Other
than do some stuff with my wife tonight.
I guess, other than the wrap up, being able to do the wrap up and like have dinner and be free, I feel rushed to try to watch it. Like I would rather get home and then rewatch the events. I mean, I'm at the gym when this is going on, so it's just tough.
I didn't get to watch it with the intention that I usually do, because I was doing work at work today. And so I had it on like off to my left of my screen. So I was following along, but I was working on some testing and stuff like that. So I didn't get to really pay super close attention. Kat texted me in the middle of the event, the handstand push-up one.
Okay, the third one.
And questioned Adler's rep count. And I was like, I have no idea. I'm not counting reps. Even if I'm watching intently, I don't know if I'm counting reps.
Yeah. I mean, how often does the camera stay on one person long enough for you to even be able to do that?
So with the new VR in the tailgate, you actually get to move the camera to whoever you want.
That's awesome.
And you could watch the same person. But again, like maybe back when I was judging all the time, like I might have counted reps to like, just because that would be my frame of mind. But now that I've retired judging, like that doesn't even cross my mind anymore. I'm looking for the stories. I'm looking for what to talk about on these shows.
Yeah.
But
I rarely count reps, but I am watching reps, like for good reps. Like I'm watching people's ring muscle ups. I heard some comments on like squat depth, even the squat snatch. I actually thought everyone looked really great today.
I did too. When people were getting no rep, it actually surprised me.
Agreed.
For the first time. Usually it's the inverse of that.
Right.
Where this was a surprise that they actually threw a no rep.
Right. I agree.
But the angle was mostly like head on.
Yeah.
So it's not the best angle to judge a squat. But even that, like a lot of like butt looked below. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I was doing so good in shot collar until the last event.
Really? I haven't even looked. So Jeff, pull that up.
I haven't looked since the last event.
Apparently Birch and I are tied.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be good or bad.
It could be, yeah. How are we doing, Jeff? Are we doing okay?
Yeah, you both are in that direction, whichever it is.
Yeah, so and I know you and I talked about this a little bit. Since you haven't been able to necessarily watch it live and you bought the tailgate stream, you noticed you can't rewind while it's live. Now you could go back and watch it, right?
So yeah, it's kind of misleading. I don't want to down dog this because it is a great supplement to watching the event.
Mm-hmm.
But the going back and watching it is not as easy as they make it out to be.
Okay.
And the replays that are available in that hub are the main telecast.
Mm.
So you're just getting what you can get on YouTube.
Okay.
For the replays. You cannot pause the tailgate party. You cannot do that. But the commentary on the tailgate party was awesome. Did you buy it this year? I
haven't, and I might get it tomorrow. I knew today was going to be sort of tough for me. Watching live. Although this morning I was able to kind of watch live a couple of events.
Yeah, I actually woke up at like 5 this morning to pee, and so I turned it on.
Yeah.
And I watched Strongman. I watched it up to watch Thor lift 1,010 pounds, and it didn't even look hard, which was just astounding.
Insane.
And then I came downstairs so I could give full attention to the first heat of men doing the run sandbag carry thing, which turned out to be an amazing event.
I liked it.
For a long run event, it was really exciting to watch. And I do think like the tailgate party offers a lot to that commentary, because they'll not only, because it was Annie and Josh with Pat Sherwood, and they were telling stories as well as giving commentary. But when they're out on a 400-meter run, it's okay that they're telling a story in round 4, right? You know what I mean? One of the stories that was awesome was that Jason Hopper came up to Josh Bridges after saying that he had finished 7th every year at Rogue that he's been there, and top 5 is winning. And Josh goes, "So Annie, what do you think about the phrase top 5 is winning?" And he's like, no. No, winning is winning.
Well,
we're not about participation trophies.
Fair enough.
She said it's fine to have a realistic goal.
Yes.
But winning is winning.
Right.
And it was awesome. So
that's great.
That's just one of the highlights of this morning. But that event was awesome. So let's go through the events. We're just kind of rambling around at this point. And then we'll talk about the alternate broadcast real quick, and then we'll preview tomorrow a little bit.
Okay.
So event 1 was the run sandbag that started with the men. It came down to a 0.2 of a second race in a 19-minute event, which is unreal. So Adler and Ricky came down, and Ricky came from behind and got the 0.2 of a second win at the very end. And it was unreal. Watching them sprint the last 25 yards was amazing.
I mean, it sucks for Adler. It's so hard to know your lead. I mean, he's sprinting, but like, it's just different when you're Ricky and you're that feet behind you. It's just different. So props to Ricky. That was a great finish.
Well, and he kind of had the psychological advantage because he had the closer lane.
Yep.
Right. So even though they went out the other way, so it was longer for him to get out, that coming back in just gave him that psychological edge. Like, if I'm going to take him, it has to be here. And it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Lynn's talking about Sam Cornwallis, who killed the first heat.
He did.
And it would have been interesting to see what he would have done had he been in heat 2. Because he kind of came out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
Because that was mostly Chandler and
so yeah, exactly. I almost feel like it's possible he could have done worse in the if he would have been in the better heat. Like, he was in this comfortable place, probably just tail and heels, and then was able to surge there on that last one. If he would have tried to go faster earlier with some of that lead crowd, I mean, he looked great at the end, so maybe he could have gone even faster, but I feel like if he could have gone even faster, he would have gone under the lead in the 6th, 7th round and won by a larger margin, kind of like Haley. So I don't know. Yeah, it would have been very interesting to see him in the other heat.
So let me ask you this. Do you think the sandbags made a difference? Did it matter the strategy you used in moving the sandbags.
Yeah, I do think it mattered a little bit. The order, I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. Like, and most people seem to go kind of similar order, but I mean, Jay cost himself with that, with dropping it.
Yeah.
So you definitely couldn't have a mistake on the sandbag. And then actually, I feel like Jay messed up twice in that workout. Well, 3 times. Getting his ruck off, dropping the sandbag, or when he was trying to lift it, and then dropping it and getting called back to like fix it in his lane. So he had some definite hangups. I
don't know if you noticed, but Ricky saved the 200, the big pill, for last, and Adler did not. Adler saved little bag.
Okay.
And I thought that was going to be enough to get out further ahead.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem to.
Huh. Yeah, that is super interesting. I didn't notice that.
The other thing I noticed is they did say there's a monitor back in the warm-up area. The second heat was much smoother with the rucks coming off and the bag movement. And I think they also are more elite athletes. Like Adler made all of those sandbags look light.
Yes.
And so did Ricky for the most part. So I think for them, it really didn't matter.
I know none of the women dragged the bag. There was only like 1 or 2 men that dragged it, right? Yeah.
Only one of the men did any dragging.
Right. And then everyone was like, yeah, that's not worth it. Yeah. You don't know that the order played a role. Maybe some of the forward to back.
I think it may have played more of a role in the women's race. Because like you could tell, like some of those bags were pretty heavy for Haley.
Yes. Definitely messed with their stride. They had to pick it up right. Yes, I agree.
And I noticed like she picked up the heaviest bag right after she dropped the ruck, which I think was a pretty smart move. Like,
absolutely.
Don't do it while you have the extra 20 pounds on.
Right.
Do it. So.
Well, Jay Birch moved in front of me, apparently. I must have tanked the last one.
Yeah, I was humming right along, and I still don't. I think it's messed up because there's people that have more than the possible. Like there's someone with 605 points. You can only have 600 points right now.
Weird.
But I was good until I picked Alex Gazan in the last event. She hurt me bad.
Yeah. That was interesting performance there.
We'll get to that.
Yep.
So in the women's race, Haley had a great first heat. Nobody around her.
Yeah. Now she's one I gotta say, I fully expected Sydney to work with, like, I expected them to be way out front and working together. I'm shocked that Sydney wasn't second in that heat. So that sucks for Haley that she truly was on her own in that heat. I think she for sure could have gotten fourth.
Yeah, I do agree. I think if she would have been in that lead heat, she would have done better. But nobody was beating Tia.
Absolutely not. Nope. She's
on
her chair.
And Gabby McGowan took second.
She did great. She looked awesome.
Emily Rolfe took third, and Laura Horvat took fourth.
Yeah. 2 time caps for the women in that event. About 2 minute off from men to women in that. Kind of the general theme I'm seeing today.
Yeah, but I thought that was a great event. I thought it was well done. I thought the sandbag thing was fun, whether it played a part or not. The fact that they had to make a choice and that they could not drop it. Like you could not drop the bag.
No.
That was pretty awesome. So before we move on to point 2, none of my prop bets have finished yet, unless I do not have them all loaded. Lynn says you can get more than 600 with prop bets, but all the prop bets that I saw were like will Taylor Williamson finish overall this weekend at blah, blah, blah? And will...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Point differential between Gabby and Laura?
I'm thinking it's I think there was one for Tia. Wasn't there one for Tia in that first event? Maybe not.
There was. I did not see it.
Yeah, the prop bets I see is Taylor, Gabby versus Laura, James Sprague, and Laura versus the field. That's all I see. Yeah. So yeah, none should be in there. You're right.
And none of those are finished.
Yep, you're right.
And right now we have people with 900 points. How do you have 900 points? Well, I guess. Okay, maybe that's right.
That seems right. But 905, yeah. Yeah, so I have 805 points.
Because you have 100 for 3. It should still only be 600 points. No, you get the extra 900 points. 900 points is the most, but you still can't even get that because your flex can't win too. Like one of the 3 can't get 100 points. You have the 2 winners, and you have your flex that can only get 95.
Yeah, I can't drill down. Oh, wait. Let's see. I'm trying to see this Rangel who's in first, what he has for point wise. So it looks like he has 100, 195. North Sea as 100, 90, 100. And then 95, 125, 100. So somehow he got 125 points for picking Emmental in Braveheart.
How's that possible?
I don't know. That does seem, because Tia Toomey got him 100 points. 125 points for Emmental makes no sense. No. There seems to be an error in there somewhere.
Yeah. There's been some all day, so we'll just let that go.
Okay.
So then event 2 was the your favorite Echo Bike, Muscle Up, Squat Snatch, Shuttle Run.
Mm-hmm.
On the men's side, they went first. Guy Heat 1 killed it, but then what the hell? Like, he ran so slow.
I don't know that he did. Quite honestly, everyone looked slow to me. Like, Fikowski was shuffling. I didn't think he looked that slow. Like, would I like to see him pick it up for the last 2? Yeah. Also tough when you're out on your own to know that you need to. I mean, yes, you should know there's a whole lot of heat and people are going to move fast. But it was only ended up being by 5 seconds. So, yeah, that sucks. It sucks for him that he wasn't in the other heat and had some more urgency. But
yeah, and then we had Dallin Pepper just crush it in Heat 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that workout all came down to the squat snatches.
100%.
Unless you were terrible at one of the other, unless you were terrible at muscle ups,
right?
It came down to who could get through those 8 squat snatches fastest.
Yep.
And Guy killed it in Heat 1, and Dallin killed it in Heat 2.
Mm-hmm.
And there you had it. We then moved to the women. Now the women, so most of the men took 1 break on the muscle ups.
Yep.
The women, it was more than 1 break. And the announcers on the tailgate were very adamant about if you're not going to just go pick up the bar, it's better to take a rest on the muscle up so that you're ready for the bar when you get there. It's pointless to spend it all out on the muscle up like Emmental did, and then get to the bar and sit there for 2 minutes,
mm-hmm.
and then miss your first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Emmental came out super hot in that event. In that one, it was, who was it in Heat 1?
Heat 1 was Taylor Williamson.
Oh yeah, Taylor Williamson.
Not shocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she can get through those snatches fatigued For sure.
And then Heat 2, it was the Tia show with Gabby Magawa right there. Well, as right there as you can be against Tia Toomey. But yeah, very respectable. Whoop. I had to take one of my earphones out, and it's now dangling and making life hell for me. So in event 2, we had Laura in third. Taylor from Heat 1 came in fourth, and then Mano Anganese from Heat 1 came in fifth.
Yeah. How exciting was that race between Gabby and Laura?
It's pretty exciting, except for Gabby really pulled apart in the shuttle runs, which shocked me.
Yeah, I was like, yelling at the TV. Pick it up. Come on. That was exciting. No communication between them. No.
I think I was going to say, this is probably a good time to bring this up, right? There's been no interaction between the two of them at all. No. This show isn't always about the tea, but this tea everybody knew coming in. There's been this mystery. Is it going to be weird? Is it going to be, and it was definitely weird.
Agree.
And I think it has affected Laura. She just does not, she seems a little bit off. And it seems to have driven Gabby.
It does seem to have driven Gabby. I think Laura's done exactly what she would have done had nothing changed for her. Honestly, like she got fourth in the run event. Like she did fine.
And third in this event.
Yeah. Very, very close.
But she is such a monster on the Echo bike. And her lifting is so good. Like I would have thought she would have beat Gabby in that event. And it just looked like she shifted down on the shuttle run.
It did. She did look. Maybe the first event taking fourth took more out of her than we anticipated. Everyone looked slow in the shuttles. Everyone. I mean, you got to think they just ran and picked up sandbags a pretty long distance.
I don't disagree. I just think that there had to be some stress on Laura. She's the defending games champ, did not complete the games because of the tragedy. She is the rogue champion coming back. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of pressure. And then you throw on top of this Gabby Kristoff thing of whatever it is. And it just seems, because when she finishes, she just goes and sits on a cooler.
I know I think that's even bigger than maybe not talking to Gabby. She's not talking to anybody. She's the lone wolf out there. Yeah.
Exactly. And Gabby's over there taking selfies with the fans and doing all of that. Like,
people love her. People are here for it.
They are. It's crazy. So then we go to
Did you like that event? Event 2?
I thought it was fun to watch as a spectator.
Do you like when there's a pretty big discrepancy between the men and women? Like do you not care because it's two different?
I don't care.
They're like the women are going against the women, the men are going against men, so it doesn't matter.
It's two different events to me. And I like the races on both sides. I know, like, you and Carolyn drafted a novel the other night on text, and I know that your feelings on it, and I get where you're coming from as a competitor and as a female competitor wanting to kind of have the same experience as the men.
Yeah.
Right. So I get all of that. But me as a fan and as a spectator, I just enjoyed the races. So I enjoyed watching I enjoyed watching people be dominant who are dominant at those things. Like Tia is so good at muscle ups and so good at lifting. Like there was no question she was going to win that.
Sure. But even she was a minute behind the men. Right. And that's not, that
doesn't matter to me because I'm not looking at what the men got. when I'm watching the women go. I know you and Carolyn are, because so I totally understand where you're coming from.
I mean, I expect Tia to dominate every event, really. It's awesome to see Tia push the level of fitness and strength and combine that. And you like Tia's normally somebody that you would maybe even consider in this event would have biked moderately hard, probably gone unbroken in the ring muscle ups, and then cycled the snatch fairly fast. And you just even, well, I mean, even the men didn't really go unbroken in muscle ups, which people thought they might. I to see 5 time caps out of 20 people, I think it's overprogrammed. I think you get people watching the stream like thinking people are gonna like darn near touch and go these snatches and sprint these shuttles when they're fatigued on heavy legs from just biking and hitting the snatches. It's frustrating for me to watch. It reminds me a little bit of the commentary after, and even like the wrap up of JR talking about dumb standard. You like he said the only 2 people at that competition that were able to make that event about fitness were Colton and Taylor. 2 men. There was no women that were really able to make it much about fitness. Like, and I think that for me, that's what we're missing in this sport. And people keep pushing the strength, and we aren't just like, I mean, if they're talking about that on the broadcast, keep taking breaks. Like, you need to be ready to hit the spot. And even then, they have to stand around before they hit the snatch. Like, why are we upping the weight on the snatch for the women? Why, like,
but let's be fair. Let's be fair. Sydney Wells did not cap because of the weight on the bar.
Okay, but
right.
It's even like you could have done
12
Taylor
Howe did not cap because of the weight on the bar.
Sure. It's, yeah, there's definitely a ring muscle up component to this for sure. But the fact that is even more to my point. Ring muscle ups are just harder and more taxing on women. So to give men and women the exact same ring muscle ups and then up the weight on the women for the snatch is just crazy to me. Maybe if you wanted to maybe you go 12 ring muscle ups and then do the 160 and see and mix that weightlifting gymnastics component. But I'm sick of seeing things slow down to hit these heavier weights when I'd rather see the fitness.
And it's surprising. I know that that's kind of what Rogue's deal is, right?
Yeah.
But the programmers are these 2 little guys.
Yeah.
That struggled with the heavy stuff their whole career. Right. And then you have Katie, who loves a good back squat, which I love her for. But so do you think it's like, I can't even think it's the bias of the programmers, because I can't imagine Josh and Chris wanting to go heavier, but they are men.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So are they looking at it for a female perspective?
I don't know, because I will say, I feel like the programming's been spot on for the men. There's been no time caps. There's been exciting races. It's been a little bit more pushing the fitness in the movements. I've actually really enjoyed all the races and the programming for the men. I can't say the same for the women.
Yeah. Okay. I just enjoyed the race. So let's go to event 3.
You want everyone to finish to see the race, right?
Right. And this early in the weekend, everybody should be doing all the work.
Yes.
Like, that part I do get. Like,
yeah,
it's unfair just because you stink that you'd get out of doing all of the reps early in the week, because that can actually help you out tomorrow. But when you're really, really bad, no programming is going to help that.
That's true.
Like Sydney, we've known this for years, struggles on high volume muscle ups of any kind. And it doesn't matter how you program it, she's probably going to get capped.
Yep.
Taylor Howe is not going to struggle with a barbell. And no matter how you programmed it, she was going to struggle. and you don't want to, you program for the best, scale for the rest. And when you only have 20 people in this competition, there's no room for scaling. You have to, these are the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I do get your point. I do think that the muscle ups probably should have been a few less than the men.
Yeah, I mean, that I would have been okay with that option. Like, if you wanted to push the weight for the women, then we need to, because I mean, the women were 20, 30 seconds slower off the bike, even with scaled calories, and it taxes them even more. Like, you're already putting them at a disadvantage.
And it was a short bar
Mm-hmm.
on turf.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
it was
Laura
even
failed
heavier
one.
than it was listed.
You would never expect that, right? Like, yeah.
So Jay Birch comes in with, I've talked to Josh about this at previous Rogue events, and when it comes to weights for women, they are sometimes overruled on what they program. If you listen to the tailgate parties on these broadcasts, Josh talks about getting overruled a lot. Last year, he talked about it a ton. Not so far this year, but last year, Katie, I mean, it is Katie's it is her event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to event 3. Event 3 was the wall walk complex and the back squat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a guy who loves a good back squat, and I love that it's heavy, and I love that it's programmed into this event. And the counter punch of the gymnastics workout of the wall walk and the 2 strict handstand push-ups, I thought was beautiful. But if you stink at either one of these, you are going to pay.
Yep.
If you are Danielle Brandon and you can't back squat, you are going to pay.
Mm-hmm.
If you are Laura Horvat and you cannot handstand push-up strict, you're going to pay.
She finished at least.
She did.
But yeah, I mean, once again, couple caps on the women's side, worked out fine for the men, pretty good races. Yeah.
Jeff Adler ends up winning this one.
Mm-hmm. Only got to go under 6.
And Justin Medeiros needed a second place finish in this one. Very bad.
Yes.
Guy Mijaros takes 3rd.
Once again, out of that first heat.
Jay Crouch 4th, and Jorge Fernandez pops up with a 5th place finish.
Yeah. That's one of my surprises of the day is where Jorge is sitting overall.
Yeah, I've got this sorted on that, but we'll do rank. And then
He's
overall for the men, it's Adler 1st, Ricky 2nd, Dallin 3rd, Hopper 4th, Chandler Smith 5th, Patrick Vellner 6th, Guy 7th, Brent 8th, Jorge 9th, and Sam Cornway 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenneth says, I'm not impressed by the programming. I am. I do see where Jamie's coming from on the second event. I will give her that. But the first event was freaking awesome.
Yeah, first event was good.
I thought was great. It is different than the games. It is not something you see programmed very much anywhere, but squatting is a fundamental movement. And I actually like the wall walk into the handstand push-up.
I liked it. I think it was a little heavy.
Lynn said, I love the programming.
Yeah, we're 50-50.
So I thought that was a good race. That was a wall walk into handstand push-up event. The back squat only played a part if you were not real good. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Now some could cycle it pretty fast. Like a Spiegel or an Adler. They did really well on this. But pretty much everybody else was pretty consistent. It was the handstand walk to handstand push-up that really separated there.
Yep, those are gnarly. I've done those. And
then on the women's side, for this event, we had Tia in first, Brooke Wells with a nice comeback into second.
Wow.
Danny Spiegel in third, Gabby Magawa fourth, Sydney Wells fifth. She needed that bad.
Yeah.
Taylor Howe sixth, and Ariel Lowen seventh. And why I think it's good programming, just think about it, like Danny Spiegel had an 18th and a third. Sydney Wells had a 20th and a 5th. Taylor Howe had a 17th and a 6th. Like, you're getting a variety of stuff that's, unless you are great, like Tia, who has all firsts, or Gabby, who has all top 5 finishes, like, you're seeing that up and down on the leaderboard.
Yeah. I'm bummed for Haley. I wish she could have handled this squat just a little bit better and kept her in the race. I mean, that's my other than Jorge being top 10 at the end of the day, my biggest prize is her in event 2. She looked incredible.
Yeah, I would matches she handled really well.
I think she moved them faster than Danny. Now, she was really meticulous about her. I think she took 4 breaks on ring muscle ups. In I think she went 2-2-1 at the end just to, be ready for him. And yeah, it was smart move. You could see the people who tried to move a little faster earlier, it definitely cost them. They just couldn't recover, couldn't lock out snatch, or I don't know. Yeah, she did. That's my big thing. She looked incredible. Which, knowing that her strength has gone up, I thought that she would be okay through this one. I mean, I expect her to be great at the wall walk. So I just even if you go slow and break up those back squats, I thought she'd finish. I'm bummed for her. This finish sucks.
She's still not in a bad spot.
Yeah. And I think she'll do okay at the rest. But yeah.
So if we look at the overall rankings on the women, the top 10 is Tia is first, Gabby Magawa second, Laura Horvath third, Brooke Wells fourth, Ariel Lowen fifth, Mano Angani sixth, Haley Adams seventh, Emily Rolfe eighth, Danny Spiegel ninth, and Maddie Sturt 10th. And what's crazy is fourth place, Laura 14th has a 14th, Brooke Wells a 14th, Ariel Lowen a 12th, Mano a 15th, Haley Adams a 19th, Emily Rolfe an 18th. Yep. In the top 10, everybody's had a really bad finish.
Right.
But I think it's been a really good first day. So I'm going to Kenneth's throwing all this stuff in. What about the rumors about training camp departures? I think there are training camp departures every year. And the rumor is coming from Peter White reporting that he saw people hanging out with people at Rogue that you don't normally see hang out together. But it was just what he saw. There's nothing official about that. But because of the tragedy at the games, the offseason didn't start off as quickly as it normally does. And so that training camp movement hasn't really played out like it did in past years. And so the speculation is that it's probably going to happen right after Rogue. Because if you don't have coaches and athletes together in one spot to recruit, you're not going to get the training camp movement. But there's nothing official on this at all. This is just one report of people hanging out with each other.
Who's hanging out with who?
He did not say. So to report on this is it's senseless at this point.
Name names.
Right. Well, I wasn't there to name names. So.
No, I know. But if Peter's even going to bring it up, name names or don't.
Kenneth, what's event 6? I have no clue. I do not have the inside sources that other people do. Even if I knew it, I would never release it because I believe that the integrity of the sport is needed for it to grow. and I would not release that information.
I mean, they might not release it until like right before it, maybe in the morning.
But there's another podcast, a very famous one, the 7 podcast, where people know what the event is.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they're not saying what it is.
So athletes
they're just saying they know.
Athletes must already
do not know. Katie said that they do not know.
Oh, geez. Well, how the frick do they know?
If you know someone who tested it or someone who designed it, or who the hell knows how they know. There has to be a group of people that know.
Right.
Any one of them spills the beans and it's leaked.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I mean, I don't know, hopefully get it early enough. We get it early enough as a public to be able to vote in Heat 1.
Yeah.
Because I'm not usually sitting by my phone ready to put those picks in.
Yeah, I don't know either. I might have to do a blind.
Yeah.
But yeah, because everything's done by noon tomorrow.
Oh gosh, I probably won't be able to watch any. I mean, we start class at 10 a.m. and finish around. I mean, I don't think we'll be done till like noon. I'll probably play it at the gym.
So a couple other things. Carolyn is there.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't see, she was a guest on the tailgate party with Margot Alvarez and Josh Bridges. I think no. Who was it? I don't even know.
In your picture, I was trying to look at that. Who was on
it's Margot beside her, and it's a Spieler. It was Spieler.
Oh, okay.
Pat Sherwood, her, and and Margot. So they were awesome. Carolyn was great on there. They talked about like getting fit using other sports, and of course Carolyn is like the poster child for that, because she's done every sport under the sun, and she played professional hockey until a year ago while she was competing in CrossFit. And counter to that was Margot saying, I would never have done that. Spieler too. I was so like zoned in to being the best at CrossFit and getting stronger that I did not go skiing or I didn't go snowboarding at all during those times because I didn't want to risk injury. And Margot said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're definitely they both actually kind of lamented that they wish they would have taken a different approach, because there can be balance and you still be really good at your sport. So that was pretty fun. A couple other highlights from the tailgate party were they're doing this awesome job of like providing content in between events. It started this morning where they had Vellner, Horvat, and Mitchell Hooper, the 3 champions from last year, interviewing each other. Now, I don't know if they were given questions or they came up with them on their own, but it was great hearing the banter back and forth about different things and them truly wanting to know about each other. That was really good. They played that in between some events. They've been doing some of the Rogue challenges with spectators. And
awesome.
Legend. So like Tommy Hackenbrook went up against 2 women in the sandbag hold. The women beat Tommy.
That's awesome.
They did. Tanya Wagner went up against a man on the most devil's presses in 2 minutes.
Oof.
But I think it's cool that the legends are competing against just regular Joes out of the stands.
Those fans are probably highlight of their year.
And they're doing it right in front of the desk of the tailgate party.
That's awesome.
And so like you're hearing comments like Spieler ripping on Hackenbrook the whole time he's holding the bag and stuff like that. It's really, really fun. And it's cool that they're using that to kind of fill in the gaps. Awesome. And it gives you something to watch and something to enjoy. They're playing videos. They're playing affiliate videos. They're playing a bunch of different things. It's really, really cool. And and I'm really enjoying that. They've added this VR camera, which was not there last year, where during an event you can actually click on a camera. And I think Katie was describing it's actually 3 cameras, but you can actually turn it.
Okay.
You can turn it, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can go to a specific lane during the event. And so if you want to watch one person, you can. If you want to zoom out and see the whole field, you can. You're pretty much the director with this VR camera. And there are 2 positions. There's one on the side and one on the rig.
Okay.
And so you can pick between the 2, and then you can zoom in, zoom out, turn, and kind of catch everything you want to catch.
That's amazing. I would totally do that for the games because I can't stand how the team on the floor, I cannot stand what they choose to show.
Right. So like in that run event, if you wanted to see how many sandbags were left in a lane, you could zoom in and like look at the sandbags if you wanted to.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool. So there's that. And I'd listened to event 2 with the traditional broadcast, events 1 and 3 with the tailgate broadcast. I really like the tailgate broadcast.
It sounds awesome.
I'm really a fan of that and the athletes they have in. Again, they had Carolyn and Margot. They've had Annie Thorstad and Annie Sakamoto. They've had in the Strongman, they have those people come in that I don't really know them very well, but I'm actually enjoying some of that. The stone to the pillar or stone to the whiskey barrel, whatever they're doing there. I thought that was fun to watch. But I'm having a good time with that as well. The one thing of the tailgate, though, I do have to say, I don't think the legends keep up with what's going on in the sport very well.
Interesting.
Because China Cho is with Pat Sherwood on one side of the desk and Miko Salo and Tommy Hackenbrook are on the other. And Hackenbrook goes, "Oh, Gabby, isn't she like really good friends with Laura? Don't they train together?" And China is subtly trying to go, "Well, Gabby's training at Krypton." And Hackenbrook's like, "Well, doesn't Laura train there too?" Not right now. She's not training there now. And China's trying to like get through the interview and Hackenbrook is just oblivious to the drama that's going on in the sport.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It just, you could tell China was very uncomfortable.
She should have just said, I think there's a little bit of a tiff there.
So I was watching one of the recaps from Savan and someone brought up that Peter brought up that situation when Josh was on the desk and Josh like slammed Peter down for bringing it up. So I don't.
Yeah. Well.
And I did not witness that piece. So I do not know if that is true. That was just reported on a wrap up from Savan. So I don't even know if that really happened or what, but yeah, overall, that's been really fun to watch. Miko Salo is not the best color commentator. Yeah. He does not speak much.
He's probably watching and like curious and then forgets to speak up.
Yeah, I just don't think it's his thing, right? Right. English is not his first language. Yeah. And I love Miko. Like he is a great dude. I met him at Rogue in 21 and he actually chatted with me. He's a great person. I just think like he shined in front of the camera and yeah. I wish Pat would have asked him more direct questions. Because there is this like legend of Miko kind of thing. If you're an OG CrossFitter that people like to hear.
After doing Miko's Triangle, I'm not a fan of that guy.
They did ask the question of the machines. China brought this up. Love, like, or hate. And then it was the ski erg, rower, echo bike. And Miko said the ski erg. He loves the other two. Okay. Hackenbrook said get rid of the rower.
Oh my gosh.
He said, I used to love it, but the older I get, the less I like it.
I could see that.
And China said the marathon row ruined her forever on the rower.
I could see that.
So, but those are kind of the conversations they have. And Margot did, or not Margot, but China did talk about the marathon row. And people were like Hackenbrook and Mika, who were before that time, were like, how bad was it? Like the half marathon was bad. Right. Like, and they're like really interested in what pace did you hold? And she's like a 2:14. They're like, no way.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was really fun watching that. And I really highly recommend it. It's $25. I mean, it's a movie with you and your wife or you and your husband or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's great and it's entertaining. So, tomorrow we have, do we know what the events are tomorrow? We don't know 6.
Right.
I don't have these pulled up. I know Corey sent me them the other day. Well, I have it in Heat 1, duh.
4 is the hunting haggis, 1,000-meter row, 30 thrusters, 30 or 20 log muscle ups. I'm very happy that they adjusted that. 30 thrusters, 1,000-meter row. So back up. And then
we have Devil's Tail, 3 rope climbs, 21 single arm sear bell, Devil's Press, 3 rope climbs, 21 single arm sear bell, Devil's Press, 3 rope climbs. And that is a 170-pound, 100 for the men, 70 for the women.
Yeah. That's going to be like a clean and jerk.
And it's that thick, rounded bell with a thick handle.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's event 2 or event 5, and then 6 we do not know. So, any thoughts on those 2 workouts tomorrow?
I love the hunting haggis. I mean, I like them both, but I think this one's going to actually be a better race for the women. It seems appropriate. I'm glad they put that to 20 because that one year I feel like no women finished. You know, it was just silly. I think it'll still be another good race between Gabby and Laura. Yeah, I don't know. I like that one.
So hunting haggis, other than Tia, who wins?
Like second place girl?
Yep.
I don't know. I think I normally would pick like someone like Ariel. She doesn't seem like she has quite the fire.
She's in 5th place.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like I don't know.
I think she looks better here than she did at the games before it all crumbled apart. But I think this is a Laura event. She's a killer on the rower.
Yeah.
That's 2,000 meters of rowing.
I think it's gonna be close again there between Gabby and Laura. But yeah, Laura will probably be second to Tia. I guess I'm hoping Gabby can hang in there.
And then the 3 rope climbs and the Devil's Press over and over again.
I mean, I think Laura's gonna crush that one. Unfortunately,
the regular rope climbs,
it's regular rope climbs. Which everyone's pretty great at regular rope climbs. Who else is gonna move that dumbbell fast?
Taylor Williamson.
Yes, she will. And she's tall. Yeah, that should be a good workout for her. I didn't realize she was as slow as she is. I did not expect her to be that far back in event 1.
Yeah, her running is not good.
I guess I didn't realize it was that bad.
So then for the men, any thoughts on the row thruster?
I mean, I think Pat is going to do great at that one. He's my pick. Second, I don't know. Maybe Ricky.
Yeah, my dark horse is Hapalainen.
Okay.
It just seems to be one of those sneaky workouts he's really good at.
I guess I don't know how his log muscle ups will be.
Well, he's taller. He's probably got bigger hands.
Yep.
That was my only thought.
Yep.
And then on the other one, that just seems like a Jeff Adler type workout to me.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's so good at like clean and jerks, which is probably how you're going to handle that dumbbell.
And he's good at rope climbs.
Yeah.
And
I think Brent will do great at it.
That's a heavy dumbbell for Brent.
Yeah,
all I picture is those last events where he drops the lunge or he drops the overhead position on something. But it's not the last event yet. So
yeah, you think Hopper will do well at that one, or do you think it's too heavy?
I think Hopper will do fine. Hopper looks really good.
He does,
but he has never been good at the log muscle up.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have a bad event 4. So either he's going to come out and need this one, or hopefully it doesn't get to his head. He has always been very bad at the log muscle up.
Well, maybe he got one to practice on.
Yeah, JR probably has 3 of them in his
Probably did. He's might be a whole new man.
Maybe. All right. Well, that should be fun. I don't even have my picks in yet for Heat 1 on that, so I'll have to get those in tonight. Because I am not in 70th. I'm in like 300.
I'm in like 200, so
I only missed on one bad pick too. Like everybody else I had was top 4.
I know I don't feel like I did terrible, but I don't know. Whatever. I picked Maddie Sturt in the back squat. I thought she would, with her lower range of motion, and I know she's pretty strong for size. I thought she'd move faster at that. So that one hurt me a little bit. And I picked Vellner in the ring muscle up one. Not where I thought he'd be. So those 2 hurt me.
Yeah, I picked Pat in the squat handstand.
Oh, ooh.
He came in 4th or something, 5th.
Did he?
I think it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like 7th. Sorry, came in 7th. It was his best finish of the day, but that's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
So, Kenneth asks if we saw the trailer for the game stock. I did. And it actually does look good.
Yeah.
It looks like more people than they've been doing lately in one. So, I don't know. I'll probably end up buying the damn thing. I do every year, but
I feel like on principle I can't. I'm just gonna wait until it comes out.
I used to wait until they did like the holiday special. We'll sell it for $4 or something like that. I don't know. I'm not even sure it's really going to come out on the date they said this time. So, but yeah, I like. The only thing is, if I buy it on Amazon, then it's in like my little queue that when I fly somewhere, I can download it into my phone and I can watch them on the plane as I'm going to a CrossFit event. And it kind of helps me get my mind right going in. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
That makes me think of Rolo's Meme for Time little Instagram post that he put up. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, because he was in the I guess I don't know if all the seats are like that, but he was in the big seat, like the lay down seat, and he was doing like mini shuttle runs in the lane, doing push-ups on the bed. And then in one of the scenes, he's like scrolling through the TV. He's like, "You all got the fittest on here." It was a really good meme. I liked it.
Yeah, he's really good at those.
Yeah.
He had one out today with Jason CF, like commentating his bad reps. It's pretty good. Because I like Jason a lot too, so it was cool seeing that. But well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll try to do another one of these tomorrow night, at some point. It would have to be before the Penn State game tomorrow night. I don't even know, when does Michigan State play?
We have a bye.
Oh, you have a bye? Wow, nice.
Pretty sure, unless I looked at that wrong.
Cool.
Yeah.
So probably enough time for Jamie to watch some of the events after she gets home from the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
With that, guys, thank you for joining us today. You guys are the best. We'll see everybody next time on the Clydesdale. Well, no, we're not Clydesdale. We are Clydesdale, but we're Friday night CrossFit Talk. Yeah, this thing. Come back tomorrow. Bye.